What you've been hearing is not our opinion. I've never met the Reverend. He's never met me. His website, Black-Genocide, is the same as whatistheendgame.com or Endgame. It's the facts. It's their own writings, their own program, their own operation. And I just wanted to add that Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey and others with the Rockefellers, the fathers of this, they've literally funded the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute and then Hitler, that this is their program of control. This is what they're into. These are the most vicious control freaks you can imagine. And when you expand on that and you realize that the CPS, it's not enough to kill 52% of the black kids, and the CPS takes more black children than any other children. Statistically, they're 5 to 7 times more likely to abuse children they have. They then drug them. The average foster child, more than 2/3 in the U.S. are on multiple drugs. The average child that's on drugs is on 7. That's government numbers. This is about destroying minds. This is a cold-blooded operation, and this ties into everything. Everything always goes back to eugenics, and I didn't even know what eugenics was 15 years ago. I've been doing my research, studying the global structure, who runs it, their own writings. This is what they are obsessed with. You have the UN saying the carbon taxes are about destroying industrial society, bankrupting people. Then if you're poor, they're going to take your children. It's just State Department Memorandum 200, put out by Henry Kissinger, telling the third world, get rid of half your people or you don't get IMF World Bank money. This is what they're doing. Now, going back to Pastor Childress of blackgenocide.org, and again, our websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. On the eugenics subject, whatistheendgame.com. Pastor, continuing, this is key. We know that abortion, even one abortion, massively increases your cancer risk in different parts of the body that are involved in pregnancy and hormones. We know it causes the women to have miscarriages when they try to have children. The women are not being told that people would like to adopt those children. They're told nobody wants a black child. But again, this is being done to everybody, but particularly black folks. We've got to get this message out to people and point out this is racist genocide, because I see black leaders and every other group are given football issues. All day it's about racism and how the black leaders are going to protect you and how Hispanic leaders are going to protect them, but it's all run by the same groups. I mean, how do you sit there and watch this? I mean, I know you fight it every day, but what is it like for you inside to know these people are doing this, and have you ever confronted them?
Oh, absolutely. That's my job right now. It just evolved, but I ticketed the NAACP last July. I follow them until they bring this onto the floor in discussion. They will be ticketed no matter where they go in their national convention. I have a friend, Yvonne Ewell, who covers the Detroit event that they do each year. We are determined that this comes to the forefront of discussion. We've made some headway recently in the last few years, but it's so ingrained. It's very much a part of the political system, and they're protecting it like you never would believe. You have the whole Congressional Black Caucus bought, literally, and this is staggering that most people would say, well, you can't buy a whole group of people of that magnitude. Well, I beg to differ with you. They're bought, and they all fight to make sure that this is never, that they are not held accountable on this information, and especially the fact it's affecting African Americans more than any other group in the country. The fact is that more African American babies have been killed by abortion during the past 30-some-odd years, that if you were to combine all other causes, AIDS, violent crimes, accidents, cancer, heart disease, it wouldn't come to half of the amount that abortion has killed in the African American community. So how in the world can you not bring this to the table? It should be discussed in the interest of health. Forget the political ramifications. Just in the interest of women's health, it should be discussed. And see, when you see leaders, and black women too, black congressmen, women, so when you see them refuse, Sheila Waters, when you see them refuse to say anything, there's another agenda. They have been bought. They have interest, invested interest. And I often say if abortion was not lucrative, it would not be legal. And they are benefiting off of the blood of African-American babies, and their silence is bought. And so it's up to programs like yourself, and especially the community leaders, and especially the church, to continue to sound the alarm. Our African-American leadership, now it's reached the pinnacle because, yes, I'm happy that race was no longer a barrier to the Oval Office, but Dr. King said we were not to judge by the color of skin, but by the content of character. And now you more or less in the Oval Office have the face of black genocide. And this is an ideology of Barack Obama where he is relentless, and that's all that's behind the health reform bill, the promise he made to Planned Parenthood that abortion would be on demand and that government would pay for it. And so every taxpayer right now should...
Travis County just passed a law. It's the only county in Texas to do it, where I have to pay for abortions. I have to pay for murdering children. So I don't sell out to the New World Order eugenicists. I don't support abortion, but they don't care. They're still going to take my money and make me be a party to killing people in Austin, Texas, the city that resides in the county of Travis County. And expanding on that, you talk about blood on the hands of these people. They sell it like it's some wonderful sacrament or a rite or a fun thing. And people get wild-eyed when they talk about abortion. But the point is, it has its roots in exterminating people, and it gives them cancer. And you got more than half of the black people never existing, being murdered in their womb. It's maiming and wounding these women. And can we put 2 plus 2 together? You got Bill Gates, whose daddy ran Planned Parenthood, always giving eugenics speeches, but he's got special shots for all the African kids. It's not enough for him that they're killing half or more than half the blacks here. He's got something special for him, and he's got Oprah Winfrey, who it turns out is in secret meetings to go over to Africa with her TV network to say, roll your sleeves up, mama, we got something good for you.
Absolutely, and this is what needs to be. See, they're going to be, I believe, a day of reckoning is coming, but the data now is surfacing in places where they never thought it would get to, and the college campuses hopefully will be the spawning ground for a move of social activism that we've never seen before. But you have named the players. You have also named those, more or less, who are literally being prostituted, African Americans that have said, okay, we'll play this game for the dollar.
And look at the power she's given. Look at the power Obama's given. I mean, here's Obama massively increasing abortion and pushing abortions worldwide and all of this. I mean, it's so evil. He is the 21st century version of the blacks that Margaret-Sanger went out and found so she could put a black face on her murder.
Absolutely. That's exactly where I believe he was elected. And so he got the money. And people today, they're still not questioning how he was able to raise the money he was raising. But that's another program.
4 times the money that McCain got from Wall Street.
Absolutely. So you see here, it's massive. But we shouldn't be intimidated. We should continue to, I believe, truth crushed to earth will rise again. And
because look at the numbers. 36 years ago when they got Roe v. Wade through, 55, 60%, depending on the poll, were pro-abortion. They believed it was just a blob of tissue. They were lied to. But thanks to the 3D imaging and all of it and the truth, now I see polls of over 70% nationally and growing are against abortion.
Absolutely, and that's the good news, folks. That's the excellent news, that the word is shifting opinion, and we need that shift to happen simply because it is going to intimidate the weaker ones, and hopefully not going along with this current agenda of the president, an agenda that basically is just like the words of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I still am shocked over those words.
We passed, she said, in fact, quote her, but to paraphrase, she said, and this was last year, she said, we passed Roe v. Wade to get rid of undesirable people.
And you bottom lined it, that's right. And people should be in just outraged that you mean you didn't do this based on constitutional law? You mean you didn't study the should then come up with your decision. Your decision, you're telling me, was based on an elitist group of people deciding we're going to reduce some numbers. It was based on ideology, not law. That is scary to no end.
Reverend,
and to sit there calmly saying it in her interview is even more shocking. And, of course, I never would think the New York Times would print it, but, of course, they figured they had an in, they had a scoop, and they did. But we should, where is Al
and Nancy
Sharpton?
Pelosi,
where's Jesse Jackson? Where are they at? They said nothing.
Nancy Pelosi, on one of the Sunday morning shows, said we've got to fund abortion because that'll get rid of people and cut the carbon footprint. I mean, this is what they talk about this so much behind closed doors. They're now doing it right out in the open. But